our son as well.
Okay. But you read letters?
Yeah, we're reading letters.
Yeah, there's supposed to be two daughters.
Yeah, there's two daughters that read here too. They're standing over there right now.
Not busy.
I normally, this is the first time I've ever read letters or been asked. Normally I speak, so I'll be. I think this will be even more powerful.
Yeah, the war on terror
Latin America.
GBA. I got the F.
They sent us Playboy, they gave us Bravo. We dug in deep and shot on sight and prayed to Jesus Christ with all of our might. We had no cameras to shoot the landscape. We passed the hash pipe and prayed our doors closed. And it was dark, so dark at night. And we held on to each other like brother to brother. We promised our mothers we'd rise, and we would all go down together. We said we'd all go down together. Yes, we would all go down together. Remember Charlie, remember Baker. They left their childhood on every acre. And who was wrong and who was right? It didn't matter in the thick of the fight.
Good morning. That presentation of Colors Medley was performed today by the Navy Band Southwest. Thank you all for coming today. My name is Chris Wendell, and I'm the Director of Sales here at Green Hills Memorial Park. On behalf of our Board of Directors, our management team, and staff, I'd like to thank everyone today for coming to our 39th Annual Memorial Day observance. We are deeply honored to join you today to honor the sacrifices of our military men and women who have laid down their lives in service of our nation. We are further honored and humbled that we were selected to host the Vietnam Memorial Moving Wall for the 6th time, especially on this year, which is the 50th anniversary, the end of the Vietnam War. The concept of the moving memorial wall was actually conceived by 3 Californian Vietnam vets, John DeWitt, Jerry Haver, and Norris Shears. Their vision was to create a memorial, a replica of the Vietnam Memorial Wall, so that veterans living on the West Coast that couldn't travel east would be able to experience this important memorial. John DeWitt, while they were building the memorial, was explaining the concept to several veterans. One of them asked, "Will the memorial be portable?" Well, trying not to avoid any negativity around the project, John responded, "Yeah, it's going to be portable." And that's literally where this project grew legs and became a mobile memorial. The song that you saw in the video is entitled "Goodnight Saigon" and was written and sung by Billy Joel, who's arguably one of the country's greatest songwriters. Now, while Joel himself has never served in Vietnam, the details in his lyrics were so specific that he was often able to depict with accuracy the emotional and physical challenges that many of our soldiers faced. Having the Vietnam veteran singers backing him up during that live performance gave many of us a brief window to the incredibly strong brotherhood that was forged under impossible circumstances. This year, I'm also excited and honored to introduce our newest memorial here at Green Hills Memorial Park, the Vietnam Veterans Memorial. We also have a big landmark this year, a huge milestone, in that it's the United States Army's 250th anniversary. Since its establishment on June 14th, 1775, the U.S. Army has played an incredibly vital role in the growth and development of our country. To put it in context, the Army's creation was over a year before the Declaration of Independence was even drawn up. We weren't even a nation yet. That's how deeply ingrained the United States Army has woven into our country's fabric. During these last 250 years, the Army soldiers have lived by 7 core values: loyalty, duty, respect, selfless service, honor, integrity, and personal courage. These core values are learned and absorbed in the basic training and follow these Army soldiers throughout their lives, both in and out of uniform. Would you please help me in recognizing the United States Army soldiers that are with us here today on the 250th birthday of the Army? Would you help honor that tremendous milestone? Would you please stand and be honored? Thank you. Thank you for your service. Will those that will be assisting in the flag raising please assemble by the flagpole? They will be honoring the American flag, the California flag, and the POW MIA flag. I would now like to welcome Navy Hospital Corpsman First Class Christian M. Jerry, who will lead this morning's Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
My dear son, it's almost June. I hope this letter catches up with you and finds you well. It's been dry, but they're calling for rain, and everything's the same old same in Johnsonville. Your stubborn old daddy ain't said too much, but I'm sure you know he sends his love. And she goes on in a letter from home. I hold it up and show my buddies like we ain't scared and our boots ain't muddy, and they all laugh like there's something funny about the way I talk when I say mama sends her best, y'all. I fold it up and put it in my shirt, pick up my gun and get back to work, and it keeps me driving on, waiting on letters from home. My dearest love, it's almost dawn. I've been lying here all night long, wondering where you might be. I saw your mama and I showed her the ring. Man on the television said something, so I couldn't sleep. But I'll be alright, I'm just missing you. And this is me kissing you. X's and O's in a letter from home. I hold it up and show my buddies like we ain't scared and our boots ain't muddy. 'cause I don't read the good part. I fold it up and put it in my shirt, pick up my gun and get back to work. And it keeps me driving on, waiting on letters from home. Dear son, I know I ain't written. I'm sitting here tonight alone in the kitchen. It occurs to me I might not have said it, so I'll say it now. Son, you make me proud. I hold it up and show my buddies like we ain't scared and our boots ain't bloody, but no one laughs, 'cause there ain't nothing funny when a soldier cries. And I just wipe my eyes. I fold it up and put it in my shirt, pick up my gun and get back to work. And it keeps me driving on, waiting on letters from home.
That beautiful rendition of our national anthem was performed today by Laura Savitz. Laura, thanks again for volunteering your pipes again with us this year. You did great. The song and video that you just saw was performed by country artist John Michael Montgomery and is a perfect segue into the letters you'll be hearing from today for some of our Gold Star families. Country music just really hits the heart, doesn't it? Move over, Billy Joel. I'd like to introduce first our first letter. They'll be read by Ron Reyes, who is the son of Ronald Reyes, United States Marine Corps First Class, who served from 1967 to 1968 and was killed in action on March 30th, 1968. Mr. Reyes.
This is a composite letter formed entirely from the words of my father, Private First Class Ronald Reyes, United States Marine Corps. Drawn from letters he wrote between 1967 and 68 while serving with the 1st Battalion, 9th Marines in Vietnam. There are 749 names from the 1st Battalion, 9th Marines on the wall behind you. At the time, my mom was nearby in San Pedro, pregnant with me. I was a month old when my father was killed in action. These are letters to my mother. Elaine, I sure miss you, and it's only the first day. We start training Thursday. We leave July 5th or 6th for Westpac. It's going to be hard, but I can take it. I just hope you can too. If I had my choice, I'd be home with you and our baby. But the Corps needs me now, and I'll be back. Just keep me in your prayers, and do not forget, I love you. Sometimes I wonder, what the hell am I doing here? There are times when it seems like everything is falling apart. You see guys laugh one minute and cry the next. You hear news of someone hit, maybe someone you just talked to yesterday. You see bodies. There were 400 of us that went out. 26 came back. But you cannot think about that for too long. You just write home, and you wait for the mail, and you laugh when you can. You remember who you're fighting for, and I'm fighting for you, Elaine, and for our baby. Is he born yet? I want him to have my name. I want to take him to the park and to the beach and show him how to throw a ball. I want to come home and buy a house for us with the GI Bill and marry you like we said. I still have that picture you sent, you and your big smile. Every night I stare at it and try to sleep. Sometimes the shells hit too close and you just freeze 3 feet from where you sit. You count seconds. You breathe because you are still there. These are good men here, Elaine. Real good men. I saw one Marine run into fire to drag his buddy back. I hope I am half as brave when the time comes. Tell my mom not to worry. Tell her I still believe God is with me. Tell her I want her to meet her grandson. Tell her I will make it home. After my father was killed, his friend wrote, "He died trying to help someone else." That is who Ronnie was. The kind of guy who would give you the shirt off his back or his life without blinking. And in one of his final letters, my dad wrote, "If something should happen to me, I want you to know I have no regrets. I have lived with love. I have known what it is to have someone wait for me. I have had dreams worth dying for." Private First Class Ronald Reyes was killed on March 30th, 1968 at the Battle of Quezon. He was 19. He is memorialized on the wall behind you on panel 47 East, line 16, and also on this nice memorial here. Thank you.
The Navy Band Southwest will now perform the Armed Forces Medley. As you hear your branch medley, please stand so we can recognize you or your family service. Before we have our second letter, I'd also like to announce it's also the 250th anniversary of the Navy, the Merchant Marines, and the Marines. Big round of applause, please.
Good morning, and thank you for coming today. We're honored to be here, and we want to thank Green Hills for continuing the sacred honor of not only with the Memorial Day ceremony, but with the wall. I'd like to tell you a little bit about our dad. James C. Mitchell Jr. was a resident of the South Bay area in San Pedro, Carson, and Wilmington. He was killed in Vietnam on January 8, 1970, 2 days after his 24th birthday, and 62 days before he was due home. Petty Officer 1 Mitchell was awarded 2 Purple Hearts, the Navy Star, and the Bronze Star. He spoke 8 languages and attended the linguistics school in Monterey, California. Mitch, known to his friends and family, attended Banning High School and married his high school sweetheart, our mom, Rita, and they had 2 children. Mitch helped on the downtime in Vietnam build orphanage. He connected with the people in the community. Today, myself and my sister, along with other sons and daughters, connect with the community in Vietnam by building peace homes in the areas where our dads were killed. He was missing in action a few days before his body was recovered in the helicopter crash in the Mekong Delta area. I always ask myself, why was a Navy guy on a helicopter? But he had jumped on the helicopter to go translate on a special ops mission. That was our dad. He was always volunteering and serving. So today, we'd like to read you his last letter that was wrote to my mom's parents from home, and tell you about a trip to Disneyland that's still not happened.
December 13th, 1969. Dear Mom, Dad, and kids, let me first apologize for my lingering in writing. Rita wrote and told me about Dad being injured. I sure hope he gets back on his feet fast. Everyone here said thank you for the fruitcake and the stockings. It's really helped to make Christmas better here. All of us are looking forward to coming home here in the next few months. I will be in San Francisco on the 13th and then hope to be in LA the same day. The girls sure look big. In each of the photographs that someone sends, I check them for growth. They are really something. How does Lois like her new job at the hospital now that she's been there for a while? Rita wrote and said that their snow was down to 3,700 to 4,000 feet level. I guess perhaps Richard and the kids went to the mountains to get into the snow.
I guess the kids keep you pretty busy during the week. And then there's church on the weekends. I guess that would be enough to drive most of us crazy. But fortunately, grandmothers are born with temperament. I guess it's a must. I'm looking forward to Christmas in February and taking the girls to Disneyland for a day. Ask Richard if he wants to go to Fraser Park or the desert to do some shooting. I sure could use some shooting at something that doesn't shoot back at me. In case Rita didn't tell you, I have orders to the Mine Division 111 in Long Beach, California. It's a real good duty, and I hope to get to stay there for a long time. Well, everyone, be good and write when you can. Love to all, Jimmy. Thank you.
He left a boy, but he came back a man. Summer of '69, home from Vietnam. And to this day, he won't say what he's seen. So much more than his worst bad dream. He can't hold on to a job, they say. His life's in total disarray. And if you ask, he'll say no regrets. The American vet. Freedom and liberty, some gave their lives for me. I'll never take it lightly or forget the awful price that has been paid, the sacrifices that were made. The American vet. From the jungles to the desert sand, from Pearl Harbor to Afghanistan, whatever he is called to do, running through his veins is red, white, and blue. He could be your favorite G.I. Joe, or he could be the neighbor down the road. And if you ask, he'll say no regrets. The American vet. Freedom and liberty, some gave their lives to me. I'll never take it lightly or forget the awful price that has been paid, the sacrifices that were made. The American vet. Freedom and liberty, some gave their lives for me. I'll never take it lightly or forget the awful price that has been paid, the sacrifices that were made. The American vet. And if you ask, he'll say no regrets. The American vet.
Hello.
We're a little ahead of schedule.
Oh, we're ahead of schedule.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Jennifer Olvera, and I'm the Manager of Community Engagement and Safety for Green Hills. And I'm going to share a poem that was sent to me, and it was written on behalf of the wives of Vietnam veterans. A uniform I do not wear, a gun I do not carry, but I serve my country proudly through the man I chose to marry. I may not wear a dog tag, but I have a mission just the same. My husband defended freedom, and I'll defend his name. A purple heart I'll never wear, no ribbons adorn my chest, but this ring upon my finger shows that I'm truly blessed. My husband is a warrior, both in battle and at home. He loves and guards us fiercely. No greater love I've ever known. When the shadows of his darkest days come back to haunt his mind, his wife will faithfully stand beside, and love he'll always find. A veteran's wife I'm proud to be. No greater honor could I know. That to proudly love and honor my husband, my hero.
Hello, my name is William E. Cordero Jr., and I have the honor of being the namesake of Major William E. Cordero, as an Air Force navigator was killed in action in the Vietnam War. I will share with you a compilation of 3 meaningful letters sent home by my dad during his first tour of duty in the Vietnam War, in the early years of the war from November 1963 to August 1964. From November 22nd, 1963. That date should be very familiar. And those awful days in Dallas. We were all very shocked to hear of President Kennedy's assassination. Seems unbelievable. Today is Memorial Day for him here, as I suppose at home as well. From December 25th, 1963, Christmas, 22:30 hours. My love, Christmas 63 is about to come to an end here in Vietnam. For you and the kids, it's just starting. By now, I suppose the kids have opened their packages and the house is a mess. Christmas Eve was a night of contradictions. I started the day off by going to Tan Son Nhut to settle the per diem. That night, the Ben Hoa Singers had their first performance at 7:30 p.m. We wore short-sleeved white shirts and dark trousers. The performance lasted about an hour. Our last number was Silent Night. We sang 2 choruses, then hummed it as we walked out of the theater. I kept walking out the door and over to my hut. There I swapped my shirt and trousers for a flight suit, survival vest, and a .357 Magnum, and went immediately on alert. Got off alert around 8:30 a.m. That meant I could go to Mass. I did. Then I found out that they didn't have a server. Guess who served Christmas Mass? I only made 3 mistakes. Got to join the Ben Hoa Singers on their trip to the town of Ben Hoa. We sang at the local Protestant church. This made my whole Christmas. All the kids were so excited. It really tickled me. Kids are the same all over. Just great. There were mostly adults in the church, but half the town was outside, including a jillion kids. They probably didn't understand a word we sang, but we sure must have had our hearts in it. We sounded 100% better tonight. Good night, my love. Remember, only 10 months and 19 days left. If you pretend this is a 3-year tour, then things don't seem that bad at all. Also, if I tell you myself I love it here, then pretty soon I'll discover I'm the biggest liar alive. I love you. Write soon, long letters, and often, your Bill. From January 15th, 1964, reporting on the loss of 2 very close friends. Hi, sweetheart. Let me say at the outset that this will be a very glum, moody letter. Yesterday, I lost 2 very dear friends, Vince Hickman and Cully Mitchell. They are downright in the middle of a heavily concentrated VC area. This is 030 degrees at 17.5 nautical miles from Ben Hoa. Just 6 minutes flying time from here, but it will take 2 battalions of Vietnamese Army troops to secure the crash scene. Even then, it is doubtful how long they can hold the area. We don't know what happened exactly yet. If and when they get to the crash scene, they will be able to tell. I don't hold out any hope for either of the guys. I came to face death in the eye. I have, I guess, but never knew when. Someone somewhere is really out for me. Things like this make you shape up real fast. This morning, Bob and I flew airborne alert south of here over a little town of Can Tho, about 243 degrees, 85 nautical miles. I wish I had a mental tape recorder to record my thoughts. Actually, they ran a lot like the story I read in the Reader's Digest book at home before I left. It's amazing the things that run through your mind. There is feeling of utter silence, which is weird because the B-26 is such a loud, noisy aircraft, but yet at times I felt lost in a world of utter silence. You find your mind thinking about something Vince or Cully may have said recently, the way Vince told jokes, Cully's serious humor, many things. Then I ask myself if it is all worth it. Is the loss of these lives worth the little good we are doing? We are hamstrung by the limitations placed on us by higher headquarters, the Army, Air Force feud at the upper levels, the limitations imposed by the politicians. It all goes to make one hell of a way to fight a war. And it really is a war. It's another Korea on a smaller scale. Good night, my love. You are my whole world, and I adore you. Your Bill. Near the end of his second tour of duty, on June 22nd, 1965, Major William E. Cordero was killed in action while on a bombing mission over the North Vietnam-Laos border.
I'd like to thank all of our families for sharing their intimate letters home from their father. You just heard from Susan Matera and Pamela Mitchell, daughters of James Carroll Mitchell Jr., United States Navy petty officer who served from 1963 to 1970 and was killed in action on January 8th, 1970, and William Cordero Jr., son of William E. Cordero, Major United States Air Force, who served from 1957 to 1965 and was killed in action on June 22nd, 1965. I'd now like to introduce our chaplain, Lieutenant Freddie A. Villamil, USS Harper's Ferry, for the benediction.
Let us pray. On this Memorial Day, we pause to remember and honor those who have given their lives defending our freedom. Today is a day to remember the brave men and women who served, bled, and died on behalf of our nation. Today is a day to honor the heroes that made the ultimate sacrifice and those who are still alive today, our beloved veterans. Today is also the special day in which we can express our gratitude once again to the families of those we remember. May the families of these American heroes find comfort and peace in knowing that their loved ones will never be forgotten. As we reflect upon the lives of our fallen brothers and sisters, we are deeply grateful for their commitment to honor, courage, and duty, as well as for their sacrifice and their unwavering dedication. May their memory inspire all of us and the next generations to live with purpose and gratitude. Today we also ask for the safety of our military members currently deployed around the world, many of them in harm's way. May they stay safe and may they return home to their loved ones without harm. We pray for peace in our world and for the healing of our nation. May we be a source of strength and compassion for one another. We ask for wisdom and guidance as we navigate the challenges of our time and as we commit ourselves to make every effort to live lives that honor the sacrifices of those who came before us. In closing, let all the service members serving today be reminded that as military members, we don't do what we do because we hate the enemy in front of us. We do what we do because we love what we left behind. In your holy name, we pray. Amen.
Your evenings, my mama's sitting there. Looks like I only got a one-way ticket away. I sure wish I could give you one more kiss. And war was just a game we played when we were kids. Well, I'm laying down my gun, hanging up my boots. I'm up here with God and we're both watching over you. So lay me down in that open field out on the edge of town. And oh, my soul, it's where my mom always prayed that you would go. If you're reading this, I'm already home. If you're reading this, halfway around the world, I won't be there to see the birth of our little girl. I hope she looks like you. I hope she fights like me. Who stands up for the innocent and the weak. I'm laying down my gun, hanging up my boots. Till Dad, I don't regret that I followed in his shoes. So lay me down in that open field out on the edge of town. And oh, my soul, it's where my mom always prayed that it would go. If you're reading this, I'm already home. If you're reading this, there's gonna come a day you move on and find someone else, and that's okay. Just remember this, I'm in a better place. The soldiers live in peace, and angels sing amazing grace. So lay me down in that open field out on the edge of town. And oh, my soul, it's where my mom always prayed that it would go. If you're reading this, if you're reading this, I'm already home.
For those of you that came in today through our main entrance, you might have noticed that there were 72 banners that lined the streets coming up here. That was Green Hill's tribute to the veterans that served in the Vietnam War, living or deceased, and we wanted to just pay tribute to them on this 50th anniversary of the end of the Vietnam War. For our wreath dedication, we'll be placing a wreath at our Veterans Memorial, our Police and Fire Memorial, and our Medal of Valor Memorial. Now, this past Friday, during the open ceremony of the Vietnam Memorial Moving Wall, we dedicated a wreath to more than the 58,000 names that were listed on the moving wall. Will those who will be presenting wreaths please receive the wreath you will be honoring? I would now like to introduce our final family that will be sharing their letter home. This letter will be read by Tippy Kelly, daughter of Robert M. Kelly, Sergeant, United States Army, who served from 1969 to 1970 and was killed in action on March 21st, 1970.
Thank you. Good morning. I think it's still morning. My name is Tippy Kelly DeMaria. I'm actually the sister. I'm a Gold Star sister. And Tony invited me here today, so thank you, Tony. I have my brother's fatigues on here. I'm going to write a letter. It's kind of long. I didn't know about excerpts. I think that the Vietnam vets that walked in today are going to like this letter. There's a lot of stuff about the Army in here. Dear Mom, Dad, and kids, hi everybody back in beautiful San Pedro. How are you? I couldn't be better. Our squad was taken out of the boonies for a 3-day rest on LZ El Dorado. You see, what they do is pull a squad at a time out of the field to pull bunker guard at one of the LZs. Since the First Air Cav is an air mobile organization, the base camps, as it were, are called LZs, landing zones. They are exactly the same as base camps where you have the battalion's hierarchy and supply element, etc. But they have also a helicopter pad attached where supplies and other things necessary to maintain a Sky Trooper company are sent out. So we are manning the dinghy bunkers on the perimeter as a quick reaction, or whatever they call it, force. It's just like a vacation on the LZ. You get overhead cover other than a makeshift hutch you set up in the boonies. You pull a 1-hour guard twice a night, and then after 6:30 in the morning, you can sleep all day if you desire. Although when a squad of grunts, nickname for infantrymen, comes onto the LZ, no one fools around or harasses with them at all. You must be kind of hazy about what air mobile gyrations consist of. We operate the same as a regular infantry unit that isn't air mobile, but we have a little device known as the Charlie Alpha, combat assault. It goes something like this. Our company, about 80 or 90 guys, is hacking its way through the jungle, and then either 6 or Gambler 6 decides we would be doing more good at another location. 6 and Gambler 6 are code names for our company and battalion company. So the company hacks its way to an open clearing or rice paddy, and 6 to 8 Huey Slicks, name of the helicopters, sit down in a line, and 6 guys hop on each one, and off we go. Usually about 4 or 5 miles. Then the birds sit down, you hop off, and start walking again. The word combat assault is very misleading because 9 out of 10 Charlie Alphas are just a matter of changing location and involve no contact at all. The other time you may get only about 1 or 2 incoming rounds. Or as soon as the gook sees the birds coming, they turn tail and run, and you end up tracking them down. So it really isn't all that bad over here. I'm not saying that it never gets bad, but it's a funny war, to be sure. It's like hide and go seek, and we're always the guys seeking. We employ a Vietnamese scout who walks with the point squad, and he is extremely helpful. A couple of days ago, we were in real dense jungle, and it was our squad's turn to walk point. Fred Mize was walking point, and our scout was second and I was third, and this scout, a former VC himself, was telling us how long ago the VC passed by checking the bamboo and checking the cans of fish that they leave behind. Also footprints, etc. I never did tell you about the guys in my squad. Well, there's me, of course. Our squad leader's name is Sergeant Jim McMurray, but we just call him Mac. He's about 20 years old and one of the funniest guys I have ever met, and I've met some crazy guys. This guy really knows what he's doing. He's a real intelligent guy, as is all the guys in the squad. Mac is from Gary, Indiana. Another one is Fred Mize. He's 21 and from someplace in Kentucky. There's Gary Tate. He's 20 and from Danville, Illinois. There's Gary Grodinovich. That name kind of sounds familiar. He's 21 and from Battle Creek, Michigan. Bud Stocking, he's 20 and from Seattle, Washington. And Morris Ward and William O'Neill, both 20 and from Minnesota and New Hampshire, respectively. All the guys are great guys and would do anything for you. Well, my monthly pay is now twice a month pay. Since the CAV is air mobile, we are paid the same as if we were airborne. You get paid twice a month, just like old Lockman Farms, on the 15th or 16th, and again on the 1st. My pay and all my benefits pulls me down $259 a month. Not bad for a PFC. Then after about 5 months, when I make $4, I'll be getting something a little over $300. Right now, my money goes into what they call simply a layaway plan, where they hold it right here in Vietnam. But next payday, I'm going to see what can be done about sending it all home. By the time I get home, I should have quite a bundle, some of which will go toward that little Porsche waiting back in the world for me to get my hands on. You know, being out in the field all the time may have its drawbacks, but one thing good about the boonies is that I have never experienced time going by so rapidly. It's phenomenal. It really is. Everyone told me time would fly out here, and it really does. I don't think I told you where we are operating now. We are located about 35 miles northwest of Saigon on the Song Bi area. I'll tell you, Vietnam is an absolutely beautiful country. It's just too bad that the people over here don't get along. A civilian doctor from the neighboring Montagnard village just stopped by and his scout and gave us a pile of old Time, Newsweek, Look, and Life magazines for us to read. We have little Vietnamese girls outside the wire all day long selling us stuff. You can buy Cokes, beer, candles, canned goods, pocket knives, and other stuff like that from them. What little business people these kids are. 50 cents for a Coke, 70 cents for one beer. You don't have any place to spend your money around here, so guys buy them like they're going out of style. The kids aren't but around 7 or 8 or 9, and they make around $60 to $70 a day. This is no put on. They actually make that much. Of course, they may have a good day and then not make anything for a week or so, but it is really something. The rainy season should be coming to a close here real soon, in about a week or so. During the rainy season, it rains every day starting at about 4 o'clock, and I mean rain. After about 5 minutes, everything is flooded. I'm kind of happy to see the rain go now, but during the hot season, which will consist of practically my whole tour over here, they say you'll wish you had some of that rain, because it doesn't rain at all. There are rumors about President Nixon cutting the tour of duty over here from 10 to 12 months. Have you heard anything about it? Why don't you do some research on it? The word is out that they, Congress, passed the 180-day drop, and so that means that I would only have to extend for 28 days, and I'll be out of the Army. I hope to be out of the field in 7, maybe 8 months. They attempt to get a guy out of the field in about that amount of time and give him one of the many strap jobs on the LZs. Another less common way to get out of the boonies is if you were awarded a medal or citation, Bronze Star, Silver Star, etc. Then you are immediately offered a clerk or supply job for your unit. There are a few things you can send if you would. You can box it and send it right over, so long as the box isn't too big, the size of a shoebox or maybe just a bit bigger, canned goods preferably ready to eat, packs of drink mix, a writing tablet, some vitamins, Stridex pads, wash and dry towels are some things that really come in handy out in the field. One thing I definitely want to do is take some pictures. You would not believe the things we stumble across just waiting for its picture to be taken. Beautiful and unusual things. Colorful slides would be absolutely ideal. The camera must be a cheap, inexpensive one, though, to allow for damage. But after I take the roll, all I have to do is put it in an envelope and send them home. You can have them developed, and by the time I get home, I should have quite a collection. My little camera Tippy gave me will take color slides, won't it? If it does, that would be ideal because it's small and compact, and the smaller the better. I wouldn't recommend you're sending the news pilot over here because
It would not be too practical, but please do send one every once in a while because it would be nice to find out what is going on. On the camera, if you could find some small watertight, heavy plastic bags or something to keep out the dampness, it would be really appreciated. Something not too much larger than the camera itself. A couple other things I could use are a small durable mirror and some plastic bags. I would like to drop Larry Burns and Jimmy Yu a line, but lack addresses. So could you write and let me know? That is about all for now. Please write as often as you can, and I will try my best to do the same. The only thing that makes it bearable over here is letters and packages, and making yourself believe that it won't be too long and you will be back where you belong in the world. I can hardly wait for next summer. Say hi to everyone for me and give Janie and Tip a big kiss for me, and tell them to do good at school, and we'll see them in not too long. Just to remind you that you are the best mom and dad in the whole universe. Not to worry, because it's not that bad over here and I can take care of myself. So bye for now, and remembering all of you in my prayers, love you much, Bob. P.S. Forgot to tell you, there's a guy in the company from Wilmington, California. His name is Henry Lamelli. P.S.S. Please send items as soon as possible, especially camera and film. So this letter was written about September of 1969, and he was killed in March 21st of 1970. And my sister Jane is right here in the front row with me. So thank you.
So I'm happy to share that we will get the skydivers in just a few minutes. Yes. But we will need to make sure that this area right over here over my right shoulder, your left shoulder, we need that grass area to be clear because that is their landing site. And I believe the Navy Band Southwest is going to play at least one more song for us before the color guards actually jump.
If you want to look up, is this? It's. I think it turned off. If you look to the sky, we have our first jumper. And And if we could clear the area where they're going to be landing, that would be great. Additional jumpers that just jump.
If tomorrow all the things were gone I worked for all my life, and I had to start again with just my family by my side, I thank the Lord above to be living here today, 'cause that flag still stands for freedom, and they can't take that away. And I'm proud to be an American, where at least I know I'm free. And I won't forget the man who died, who gave that right to me. And I gladly stand up next to you and defend her still today, 'cause there ain't no doubt I love this land. God bless the USA. From the lakes of Minnesota to the hills of Tennessee, across the plains of Texas, from sea to shining sea, from Detroit down to Houston and New York to LA, well, there's pride in every American heart, and it's time to stand and say that I'm proud to be an American, where at least I know I'm free. And I won't forget the man who died, who gave that right to me. And I gladly stand up next to you and defend her still today, 'cause there ain't no doubt I love this land. God bless the USA. Oh, and I'm proud to be an American, where at least I know I'm free. And I won't forget the man who died, who gave that right to me. And I gladly stand up next to you and defend her still today, 'cause there ain't no doubt I love this land. God bless the USA.
Thank you, Laura. Thank you again, Laura. Will the members of the 21st Century Skydiving team that we've been waiting for a couple of years come on forward and be recognized? We missed you. If you could clear the center aisle so they could come down, that would be great. Thanks. Folks, if you'd like to be seated.
count, Chris.
Recount. Ladies and gentlemen, let's give it up for the 21st Century Skydiving Team. Come on up front. If you would all be so kind to introduce yourself and tell us the number of jumps that you've logged.
Jay Stokes, 24 years Army Special Forces, retired. 28,000 jumps.
Simeon Lott, 12 years, British Army Infantry, 18,000 jumps.
J.C. Coldren, U.S. Army Special Forces, 20,000 free falls.
Mary Tortomasi, 4,500 skydive.
Romulo Rangel, 11,000 jumps.
Ken Lewis, 4,000 jumps.
Chris Carnahan, U.S. Army Rangers, 3,500 jumps.
Daryl Light, 10,000 jumps.
Could you all promise to come back next year? Okay, I heard it right here. Thank you all so much for being part of our program today. Thank you. That was fantastic. If you haven't had the time to visit Washington, D.C., and you haven't had the opportunity to see the real Vietnam Memorial Wall, I'd encourage you to spend some time after the ceremony today to see the Vietnam Memorial Moving Wall. Spend a little time. Tomorrow, we will be taking it down at 8 a.m. The wall's got to travel. And if there's any veterans or law enforcement that would like to volunteer their services tomorrow morning, we'd love to have the help. I'll be honest, I've seen both the permanent and the traveling memorial, but I really didn't know an awful lot about them. So I did a little research on the Vietnam Memorial to give me a little bit more appreciation of this monument. There are 58,267 names engraved on the polished black granite walls, and those names are arranged in chronological order by the date of their casualty. The names begin and end at the origin or the center of the memorial where the two walls meet. Having the names begin and end at the center of the memorial was done symbolically to form a circle to signify the completion of the war. Now, next to each name on the memorial, you're going to find one of two symbols, a cross or a diamond. A diamond symbol signifies confirmation of a service member's death, and a cross indicates a service member that was missing or a prisoner of war at the time the memorial was built, and they remained unaccounted for. If a service member is later repatriated, a circle was added around the cross if they were found alive, or a diamond was superimposed over the cross if their remains were identified. The names of the soldiers on this memorial had very short lives and were sacrificed while fighting for our country. Many of those that lived came home from war and were often met with contempt and hostility by the very same people that the troops thought they were protecting. Put simply, many Americans had difficulty separating the war from the warrior. Would it surprise you to know that out of the 58,000 plus veterans that lost their lives and are memorialized on that monument, almost 40,000 of them were 22 years of age or younger? The largest age group to die in Vietnam was 18 years old. Over 33,000 soldiers not old enough to buy a beer or negotiate their first kiss gave their lives to their country. Those in attendance and are better at math than me, that's about 56% of the soldiers that lost their lives were 18 years old. Children. If you take the time to read the names on the wall, you'll come across the names of 12 17-year-olds, 5 16-year-olds, and Private First Class Dan Bullock, who gave his life at the tender age of 15 years old. Also engraved on the memorial are the names of 31 sets of brothers that died for their country. 31. It's hard enough that our Gold Star families should have to endure losing a child, but losing 2 children is unconscionable. Before you leave here today, I'd like you to take inventory of all the amazing experiences, adventures, triumphs, and wonder you yourself have experienced since you were 18 years old. Now, imagine for a minute giving up all of those precious moments to go off and fight and die for your country. What would you have missed in your life if it had all ended at 18 years old? Calculate in your wedding, birth of your children, graduations, special birthdays, hell, winning your fantasy football league. Whatever major highlights you've had since you were 18 years old. And if you could somehow mentally calculate the importance or weight of those moments in your life, that's the degree of gratitude that you owe all the veterans who fought to make those moments possible. The last time we were able to host the Vietnam Memorial Mobile Wall was back in 2021. And I invited a friend of mine to come in and take a look and pay his respects. And he brought along with him his young teenage son. And while we were talking, he looked around and we both saw a gentleman who was also visiting, and he was a veteran, and he was having a really tough time. And my friend told his young son to go over and thank that gentleman for his service, and reluctantly he did. And the man smiled, and then he broke down crying and he hugged him. And he said, "That's all I've ever wanted to hear." It's been 50 years since the end of the Vietnam War. And I want the Vietnam veterans that are with us here today to know that you are loved and appreciated. And I'd like to ask those Vietnam veterans with us if they would stand and be recognized and see what I'm talking about. Thank you, and truly thank you for your service. I want to thank everyone that's joined us here today at our 39th annual Memorial Day observance. I'd like to thank our dedicated staff at Green Hills Memorial Park for working this morning, our wonderful guest speakers and participants that shared some pretty intimate moments with us this morning, and Jennifer Olvera for the countless hours she put into organizing this event. Please drive safely, enjoy your time with your family. God bless our troops, and God bless the United States of America. Thank you. Folks, one more announcement. There were also 8 nurses that appear on that wall over there. So when you're paying respects, pay them to everybody. Thank you. And folks, can we have one more round of applause for our band that actually did a lot of filling in for us today? Thank you so much.